And we're back. Okay.
Woo!
So let me start this sneak peek event. There we go. All right, we're official. Um, yes, so to explain the Taylor joke, I have a brother Taylor and a husband Taylor, and they both participated in the server in volunteer capacities, but one of them lived in Arizona and one of them lived up north, so that's where the hot Taylor and cold Taylor came from. All right, so anyway, so first, this is our sneak peek of next year. Our theme next year is going to be Here There Be Dragons, um, which is general fantasy, adventure, but also exploration and pushing limits. Yes, dragons. uh, and so we're gonna do D&D, we're gonna do dragony things, and actually you guys are going we are going to have role play. We have already um we have already started discussing what to do with role play for next year. Um so during this sneak peek we'll go over role play, and we will go over um events because you guys are going to help us decide what are our events. But let me, before we get into that, I'll give you kind of like a structure of how it's going to go next year. So, we did not know how many teens to expect this year. So, if you guys noticed, we had lots and lots of events. Um, so now that we have a kind of better idea of how many teens to expect, we are downsizing the number of events so that we're not like spread thin across a billion things, but we can, all enjoy and have a really good time with a good number of things for how many of us there are. So,
Thank you. I had so many things after school. As
yeah,
in, I can count like 5 or 6 after school on the week, and
yeah.
that's without the library events.
Yeah, you guys have busy schedules. We have busy schedules. I think we are all very happy that we can, one, continue to do this, but two, uh, have less events. um, so we are going to have the server run for 1 month next year, and it will be the month of October. Um, and we are going to have one event, one voice call event per week, not counting the beginning call and the end call like this call. So, um, who are you asking that question to, Dragon Gamer? Because I think we're all kind of
Just in
fanatical.
general.
A little
Just
bit.
in general.
Got it.
Besides, the joke came to mind and I had to do it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Oh,
Um,
now I get it.
so Um, so yes, so we have 4 events, and that includes like if you guys want to do 2 D&D sessions, or maybe you just want to do 4 D&D sessions, and just do D&D the whole time, or do we want to invite in guest speakers? We have several guests that are willing to come in next year. I'm just going to go over them, and then after probably over into this next week we'll post and do a vote, okay? But we have a scientist who would be willing to come in and talk about like dragon biology or any number of science topics, but like he's also a geek, so he could get very geeky. We have a mental health professional that actually uses D&D to help his people, and so like he could come in and do that. Binary Cocoa, the board game company, has said that they would be interested in coming back, so they could come in and do a D&D live stream with voting like we were planning on, or they could um, come in and do a panel on how to DM or other aspects of D&D, um, or any, and then they also ran a D&D session this year. So Binary Cocoa is another group that could come back. We also have um, a let me see. He is the principal, Skylar Sura, the principal animator in R&D for Riot Games, which does League of Legends, um,
Ooh.
said that he would be willing to come in and talk with us. So if you guys are interested in hearing from a professional game animator, he would be another guest that we could invite. We also have Lark. Did you want to talk about the manga librarian?
Yeah, so you guys might have seen this person join as the server as a observer kind of person, but Carolina Manga Library is also willing to come and do something. They have a lot of knowledge about various manga. They run a podcast, so that would also be an option.
Yep. Let's see, who else am I seeing here? We've talked about getting authors to come in and talk. Um, I have a scientist locally that does stuff like Riddle Fridays, where her students will come in and bring like puzzles and challenges and just do like an open like puzzle riddle challenge session, which feels very appropriate for a dragon server. Um, or like a marshmallow spaghetti tower challenge. So she could come in and run that. Um, let's see. We could also have the AI and art panel. We could invite, that one had to be canceled this time around, but we could run it next time. I'm pretty sure our AI expert and our artist would be happy to come back. Um, so all of these, all of these are options, um, but we would like to nail that down so that we can just plan on it and not be like rushing to find people last minute. So we're going to be voting on the options with you guys over the next few days. So if you guys have an activity that you want to do, um, throw it in chat and we'll put it up with the nominations. So, like, if you guys want to play Among Us, or if you want to play Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, or if you want to do another like podcast group listen, or um, if you would like to um, play more Jackbox games. Dragon Gamer, we did talk about having the teens host RPs, but that is not possible for this server because of uh, a few different factors. So that's one that we're not going to be able to do. Um,
That now, that now I'm going to need to find a way without directly messaging everybody to see if they want to do roleplay.
um,
You cannot stop the nerdy passion.
okay, don't. I yeah. What?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to do. I'm
Don't.
already
Okay.
part of like 10.
There we go. All right. So yeah, the podcast listen was really fun. Phasmophobia. Gamebird, when you say you love game stuff, like what are you wanting to do? Playing and streaming video games. Oh, um, as
I
far
love it
as
so
like
much.
yeah, unstructured time, we're gonna have a voice call channel specifically for you guys to organize your own video game streams and playtimes. Um, so that you guys can hang out with each other anytime. And because it will have its own channel, one, you guys will feel more free to do it, which you're welcome to do it anytime. And two, that will help us because we need to collect stats for programs. And so if it has its own designated channel, that will be easier on us on the back end. um,
Also, Lauren, I just created a discussion channel for the deciding the 4 next voice call things, so we can just put the vote in that one for people to do. And I also put an option in there for people to give their suggestions. So,
cool. Yeah. Well, probably what we'll end up doing is we could collect suggestions and discussion in there, and then I would like to do an announcements thing for the
yep,
final vote.
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so we've had a composer come in and talk about how to compose music. So like whatever you guys are curious about and want to learn more about, we have a lot of librarians who know a lot of people, and we would absolutely love to go and find people that can talk to you about things that you're interested in. Um, I think that's one of the coolest things that we can do on this server. So, uh, no problem. Thank you so much, Ava. Have a good evening. So, uh, but yeah, so you have a few days, but we're gonna finalize that in this next week. So it'll be really fun. And those were the things that we had lined up as far as events. What other events, Lark, have we done in the past? Any other voice call events you want to suggest?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. Because yeah, you've listed up. Oh, the streaming was streaming like over the garden wall kind of streaming, a voice call
Oh
thing
yeah.
that you
Yep, and
um
then there was also the D&D live stream that David did. So if you guys want to pick on more hapless D&D players, David said he would be willing to come back.
and
Game,
again, Binary Coco's willing to come back to do that. They were really sad that they had to cancel. They were moving buildings and life got crazy.
yeah, yep. Binary Cocoa also has they have a D&D group that comes in that is really entertaining. So then you guys would actually, the way that one was going to work is that you would accumulate points by participating in the server, and then you would spend those points at like on different things. So like there'd be like a little points store. So you'd be like, send in the dragon and spend a whole bunch of points to send in a dragon, or spend a whole bunch of points to send in a goose or a wild magic event or whatever. So that one works a little differently, but um Gamebird, a Studio C watch party sounds like a ton of fun. That might be um we'll put it up on the votes, and if it doesn't become one of the librarian run events, it could easily be one that's run by you guys that you guys can organize on your own. So always vote for Goose. Um, so so there's the events. Let me go over what changes we're looking at for role play, because we're really excited about our role play structure. So always vote for Goose Dragon too. So role play, we absolutely loved it this year. So what we want to do next year is same format where we have a folder where each channel is a different location. We're going to have an enchanted forest kingdom, and there's going to be different locations in the kingdom, like the tavern and the castle and the witch's hut, or stuff like that, right? Um, each week each of the 4 weeks is going to be a different chapter. So it's going to be a self contained story. And there will be a couple of main role play evenings that are selected. But each of us role players will know how our characters, like, for that week, interplay with the main storyline. And so we'll have a couple main role play nights where you guys know that we're going to hop on and we're going to push for like plot relevant things. But then the rest of the week you can just do loose role play like we have been doing, where if somebody's available, they'll come on and they'll role play with you. Um, so So you'll have a different chapter with a different story, and then the next week we'll have a whole new story with new characters. Um, and it will be a new chapter. So like if you get lost one week and you don't have enough time to keep up with the story, that's okay. Jump in on the next story. So that um, should help streamline things a lot, I think. Another thing is, um, let's see, what else did we decide? Um, we're gonna have little helpful informational graphics so that you guys know what is expected on your role play end of how do you role play, what items are you allowed, um, and then that will also help new teens jump in. We're gonna have a channel that is only spectator chat, so that you guys can just run commentary if you're like, I'm not gonna be like I'm not writing in the story tonight, but I am here with popcorn. So, we'll have a spectator chat for all of the snarky commentary. And then we will keep our story thus far updates, which will end up being sort of like a table of contents. Um, but we will also have our Haunted Manor folder. um, you will have an automatic or sorry, we'll have an auto roll, a reaction roll up in the rules and roles channel, so that if you click that roll, you can see the role play from last year if you guys want to go back and reread. So we're keeping everything, but it won't be cluttering the server for people that don't want to read it. So um let's see. Um, Lark, were there any other role play changes?
We are also going to have some rules in place for what you can bring into the role play.
Yes. Yeah,
So like
that will all be on the
yeah.
infographic.
So but we are gonna have some rules to limit some of the chaos. But it's gonna be still fun.
Yeah. Basically, it's any small household item of mild significance that you can fit in a backpack. That's what we're going with. You guys will still be role playing as yourselves. Oh, we're also going to have also hi gray ghosts. We're also going to have profiles. So like if you wanted to be like archetypes. So if you want to be like, oh, um, I want to be the like I want to flavor this as I'm a reluctant adventurer that just kind of got pushed into this or whatever. So we'll have a couple like if you wanted to flavor writing as yourselves in a particular way, we'll have some profiles ready for you guys if you want to use them. So um, that doesn't mean that you can't make up your own, but there will be uh, uh, it'll be kind of like how we did it this time, where it's kind of just it's still yourself, but you can add some flavor here and there. So, um, Grey Ghost, we had interest in how the storyline resolves. I set up I told them the setup and the backstory, and then they wanted to know how it resolves. So um, I think we're almost done with the sneak peek call. So if you wanted to hang out afterwards, the other option is we're gonna post written summaries, and we're keeping the server open into next week for that, so teens can see the storylines resolve.
Cool.
Yeah.
I will see if I can stay after. I don't know, but if I can, we'll do it via voice, and if not, I'll try to post something via chat.
Cool.
If you can post something via the chat or the in the role play channel, I think that would be good because some of the people that were in the earlier call that were interested in the Grey Ghost story conclusions are no longer present in this voice call.
True.
Fair enough. At the very least, I'll see if I can post a recording or something, because
Oh,
I
there
can
you go.
definitely have time to talk.
Yeah. Well, and you also sent me your bullet point outline, so like that's what I was planning on posting too. So like that would be perfectly fine too.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's the sneak peek of things that we've thought of. We think Gollum should be the one that hands out riddles. Right, Jerry? I think that was our.
Oh, sorry, could you say again?
I think we talked about Gollum being the one that's the riddle that
Yeah.
hands out the riddles, or
Oh, yeah.
back
Forgot
in the
about that.
day. Yeah. Um, we've talked about. Oh, we had for Hangman, we wanted to see like dragons like raising towns to the ground or something like that.
Yeah. Very trogdor.
Yes. I think we also, oh, I think it would be really fun if like the cryptid bots, if we wanted to do something like that again, it was like you'd like be collecting items for a dragon's hoard or something.
Mhm.
But we've
Um,
we've talked about a lot of different things, and so stay tuned. And also, um, for the teens that want to participate in the planning of it, I think it was added to the form. I can't remember if not. It will be soon. If you want to participate in the helping plan for next year more in depth.
yes. Yep. We had that in the form, so we will be sending you guys links to the brainstorm server if you're not already there. But yeah, so that's it for the sneak peek. If you guys have any ideas, you know, throw them in chat if you want. And otherwise, I think I will end the call recording. So then the Gray Ghost can then I can start a new recording, Gray Ghost, if you want, and then we can just post that.
Let's do that.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Thank you guys. Stopping recording.